Yes, it's a lot. Yes, it's quite a process. And yes, your voice matters at every single step along the way. So here are some key deadlines to know. Crossover day this year is March 17th. That's the day when bills need to have passed through their original chamber and crossed over to the other side to stay alive. Monday, April 7th is Sine Die. This is the final day of session. The lights go out, the doors close, and whatever hasn't passed is done for the year. If you've ever seen Schoolhouse Rock, then you probably have a general idea of how a bill becomes a law. In Maryland, we follow that same core structure, but with a twist. We have 90 days to get it all done. So, Maryland lawmakers have 90 days to introduce, debate, amend, and pass hundreds of bills. Just like the US Congress, we have what's called a bicameral legislature, which just means there are two chambers, the House of Delegates and the Senate. We have 141 delegates and 47 senators elected at the state level to represent us and pass laws that directly impact our lives. They do this during the Maryland General Assembly legislative session, which runs for 90 days from January till April. Right now, we are smack in the middle at week 7 and things are starting to move fast. So, how does a bill actually become a law in Maryland? First, the legislator has an idea for the law. They work with the Department of Legislative Services to draft the bill and file it where it is assigned a number, like House Bill 123. Then the bill goes to the floor for its first reading. This is simply the introduction to the chamber. So there's no fireworks, no debate, just, hey, here's this bill. After a bill has been introduced on the floor, it gets assigned to a standing committee. We can think of standing committees as like a mini task force of lawmakers who dig into specific issues. The committee starts with a public hearing, generally the first opportunity to testify and make your voice heard on this matter. Advocates, lobbyists, and regular people show up to say, hey, we love this, or, oh my God, please do not vote for this one. After the public hearing, the committee debates the bill. They may make amendments, and then they vote. The bill can come out as favorable, with or without amendments, unfavorable, it's basically dead, or no recommendation, which is kind of like, we're not sure, but have at it. Most bills die right here in committee and they never make it to a floor vote. If a bill does survive committee, it goes back on the floor for a second reading, and this is where the entire chamber debates it, and it's still open for amendments. Lawmakers can tweak it, add stuff, or pull stuff out. It's kind of like the fine tuning before the final vote. Now we're on to the third reading, and this is the part that really matters. There are no more amendments. It's a straight up yes or no vote, and if a majority of the chamber votes yes, the bill passes. But we're only halfway there. It's now time for the other chamber. Once a bill passes its original chamber, the House or the Senate, it then crosses over to the other side, kind of like passing a ball in a relay race. And it starts the process all over again. On the other side, it will go through the first reading, committee, second reading, and third reading. Both chambers have to approve the exact same version of the bill before it can go anywhere. Sometimes that second chamber makes changes. If the original chamber agrees with the changes, great. If not, a conference committee is formed. We can think of a conference committee kind of like a group project with political steroids. And 3 members from each chamber kind of come together and they work out a way to find a bill that they both can agree on. Once both chambers pass the same version, the bill heads to the governor's desk. The governor can choose to sign it into law, veto the bill, or just let it sit there and let it turn into a law without a signature. If the governor does veto the bill, the General Assembly can try to override it, but it requires a 3/5 vote of majority in both chambers, which is a really heavy lift. We're halfway through session, and this is when stuff starts really flying. So if you care about something, now's the time to make the noise. So let's wrap it up really simple.